Come and vibe with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I need about 4 minutes out of your life right now.
Although it was sort of in the hip-hop genre, for me it spoke much more universally about the tools of creativity, how creativity can be used to actually begin a social movement, and how this social movement can really actually motivate people to take charge of their lives. And it sort of made me think of intervention theatre, which was started in Brazil by Augusto Boal, using theatre to politicize people. So I think creativity has always been used by human beings to use or to be used as a tool for social understanding, for reconciliation, for political movement. It's part of the innate creativity of mankind.
I'm wondering how relevant the 5 elements are, because one thing that I do know, well, I'm going to say no, one thing I read about is that hip hop also came from, I won't just say Africans, but in South America as well. You had, they were called griots, am I right? And it was a way of sharing news and stories and other things with their townspeople in a creative kind of way. And that is also, that's, when I think about hip hop, I think about that.
Another thing that I thought was quite interesting was, he said, one of the commentators said, you had a choice between gangsterism or dancing. And my question to the panel is, when you think about that, is there a juxtaposition between being a gangster, being a dancer, or can you fight with movement?
When you dance, you have to train, you have to look after yourself, you have to have a form of discipline, you have to have certain techniques. If somebody does a particular move that is better than yours, then you have to improve on that. So it's almost like, instead of then thinking, okay, we're going to be violent towards each other, it's almost like, well, we can actually still have that friction, but again, it's turned positive. So it's almost, you're allowed to then say, well, actually, we're both creative people, we're both talented people, we have to be disciplined because we're doing it through dance, which we're having to live in a particular way. And like when you said about, 7 days a week, 3 hours, it's almost like they don't realise that through that training, they're building bonds with their friends. They're then investigating, they're then researching, they're doing all these things, they're thinking, oh, how can I make this different? How can I create something that hasn't been seen before? So it means that all that kind of negativity that might be through violence within the gangster type of mentality, it means that you're turning it into something quite beautiful. Say, for example, Spike Lee, he's got, he's really influenced by hip-hop. Most of his films have got a hip-hop element.
South Africa, South America, Iran, Iraq. My neighbours' struggles are mine. And if it takes hip-hop, if it takes poetry, if it takes film to remind me of my humanness, then I'm grateful for those people, because it is about loving my neighbour as myself. And I think very much looking at African slavery and how we came out of slavery, music and creativity was something that we always did. We chanted, we used poems, and I often say to children as a teacher that we didn't come from Africa empty, we came full. We were full of music, full of drums, full of rhythm, full of notes, full of history. So we were full of culture. So this thing about hip-hop isn't something new to us. It isn't something that just come upon us. It's something that innately, I think, human, and particularly in relation to the black culture, it's something we've always had. You just tap us and we're like a drum. We resonate.